I've been looking really very much forward to see who won the race, who came first with using specific payments. And as soon as everybody's ready, I'm really proud to be presenting to you from Fintech Finance, the editor-in-chief, Amy Patterson, who's going to give you the results from here. Just a little while. And if any of you haven't yet picked up the magazine that we've got lying around in the media session, you should. So, are we ready to go? Ali, over to you, and welcome. Let's give him a warm welcome.
I've promised someone I'm going to do this. Has anybody been playing Buzzword Bingo for Money 2020? My favourite session so far has been hearing how APIs and blockchain as a service, when crowdfunding into a digital wallet for digital natives, via a P2P platform for Internet of Things, allows for smart contracts to be deployed over chatbots, which are set up using machine-to-machine learning, lead to an AI platform in something akin to the Uber of banking. I think that is all the buzzwords? I'm not sure. Well, for those of you that aren't familiar, I run Fintech Finance. We're not a solutions provider, we are a media company that do a bunch of videos. You might have seen some of our songs that we do at the events. But we also do a magazine, which is available at our stall. Please pick it up because I don't have to drive back with the 3,000 odd copies in the back of the van. I know our team here don't want to do it. But we did something a little bit strange. We did a payments race where we had a group of 8 people starting in Trafalgar Square last Friday. And the idea was to kind of showcase that choice when it comes to payments is quite important. So we gave each of these 8 people a method of payment, and their mission was to go from Trafalgar Square to Copenhagen using only that payment. They weren't allowed to do a transaction, i.e. take their card and go and withdraw cash and then use that cash to apply for something. They weren't allowed to sell their gold and then use that cash for buying something else. The idea was that every transaction has to be in that form of payment. And the results were quite surprising, to say the least. I think some of you might have seen on social media the results and a few bits and bobs of what happened. But I'm going to bring them out now, the racers. Some of them had very, very little sleep. The first person I want to bring out is really a very old friend of mine. He is an award-winning actor who played Reggie Cray in the Rise and Fall of the Crays. I'd like to bring out Kevin Leslie, who is supported by our friends at JCB. So, Kevin, can you come out here, please? Our next race that we're going to bring out is a musician, which is not something you often get at a Fintech event. So I'm going to bring out a musician and rapper who is supported by Gold Money, whose payment method was gold. And that is Mr. Cooper. So, Mr. Cooper coming out, there he is.
Oh, come on.
Our third racer, a lot of you actually probably already know him. He's Fintech Finance's own Jordan Dusty Drew, who is a YouTuber, as well as our camera guy. And he is supported by our friends from Saxo Payments and Banking Circle. And he made the trip using only chip and pin. So, Jordan, do you want to come on out? Our next racer has somewhat of a challenge. He is the tech reporter for Stuart Thomas Media. and he's supported by the ATM Industry Association, and he got here using not cash, but only coins. So can I bring out Stuart Thomas, please?
Hey!
I think he's live on Facebook as well as we speak.
Hello everyone.
Our next blogger is actually, we did have a guy called Chris Lloyd, who is a boxing presenter, but he sadly couldn't make it. So I had to step in at the last minute, and I had to make the journey using only contactless, thanks to our friends from TAS Group. At the last minute, Phil from Curve, if he's here, or is he out and about, provided me with a contactless ring instead of a card. So I had to make the journey using only contactless. Our next blogger is one of the innovation team at UBS, so one of the incumbent banks. He's supported by Aspire Payments and made the journey using only mobile payments, Apple Pay and Android Pay. So can I bring out, he's also a world-class Instagram, he's got a really good Instagram account. Can I bring out Giorgio Zanetti? I love that these guys are still vlogging as they come out. We also have former publisher and a general sort of fintech marketing guru, Misha Jesokenyan, who has been supported by our friends at AV. He would have absolutely destroyed it in the US because he's been using swipe and sign. I had to do the unthinkable, and he had a Mondo card, not a Monzo card, he was one of the originals of the Mondo card, and we had to flip out the chip on it, so you could only use swipe and sign. But can I bring out, supported by AV, Misha? Our last blogger is a guy called Dave Erasmus, who is another YouTuber who's all about sustainable living and freedom of information. He's good friends with Louis Cole, who's got like a couple of, I don't know how many followers he's got. Everyone needs to know him on YouTube. He's supported by Coin Corner, and he is trying to make the journey using only Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency. Slight issue with Dave. He hasn't actually been able to make it to Copenhagen using Bitcoin. But he has sent us this message. So guys, can we play the video message from Dave?
A couple of months ago, I got the call from Ali from Fintech Finance. He said, we're doing this race to the Money 2020 conference. Do you want to have a go? I looked at the payment options and I saw Bitcoin. It sounds difficult, but let's give it a go. So I jumped on Google, saw a few blog posts and realized that there are some platforms that do take Bitcoin to do travel. I thought, yeah. Jumped on Expedia, everybody said they take it. They definitely don't take it anymore. I thought, crap. I jumped next on the list, a platform called Cheap Air. Now I would have thought flights to Copenhagen from London would just be a couple of £100 and just a couple of hours, but no. Some of them were 700, even £1,000 to get across the water. So I thought, oh, let's sack off this part of the journey. Let's start at the beginning. I thought, hey, let's not be snobbish. Let's try the local taxi company. Let's see if they know anything about it. Turns out they don't. Enterprise Rent-A-Car rang them up.
Well, Bitcoin's amazing. Can you buy products? You can buy products online.
Lady educated me about Bitcoin for 5 minutes and then told me that they don't take it. Uber, I checked the Uber app, it doesn't take it at all. Went to giftoff.com, they have national rail vouchers that you can buy, use the code, put them in, get the ticket, all went well, transaction went through. My first Bitcoin transaction, oh yeah, takes 2 days for delivery. This is the point that I'm sure I'm beginning to go grey. I tweet my followers to see if anybody would be up for taking me to the airport paid in Bitcoin. 2 people respond, but they are teenagers and they don't have wheels. I even put a tweet out to Coin Corner to see if their followers and their groups could do anything to help. I'm stumped. I don't know what to do. Although it's 10 hours travel with a stopover through the middle of the night, although it's $500, I think I've got to do it. I've got to do this, otherwise I'm going to get stuck. We're never going to leave. I put the transaction in, it gets stuck. An hour. 2 hours. No word, yet my money's gone. I can't go and use the Bitcoin anywhere else. It's stuck in the system. I go to the kitchen, make myself a sandwich, come back and see what's happened. 2.5 hours later, the transaction goes through. Whee! Half an hour later, I get an email from Cheap Air. Urgent. please give us a call. We need to talk to you about your booking. The transaction took so long to get blocked, they ended up giving my seat away to someone else. What's worse is they say there are no more flights tonight and there's nothing there that will get me in time to Copenhagen to be with you guys tomorrow. That is why I must concede. I am still in the M25. I have my tail between my legs. There's definitely a few things I've learned today in the last 9 hours. Number one, people need education. I didn't know that it takes a while for the transactions to get logged to the block. If you're in a time-sensitive situation, it's not easy to use Bitcoin. 2, we need more retailers to experiment with Bitcoin. The more that it's used, the more likely we are to see a more decentralized future, which is good for all of us not to be held by the balls by the banks. And thirdly, if I was going to try this challenge again to come to Copenhagen, I would need more than 24 hours. It's really a difficult thing. No matter what technology we use, no matter what tools we have to represent stored value, at the end of the day, these are just conduits to connecting people to establish relationship. And I think the guys that have done the best on this challenge have been the ones that have gone out there, engaged with people, and actually trusted that people will help them if you ask them for it. As technologists, it's easy to think it's about the technology, but really it's not. It's about getting out of the way of what is natural to us, which is relationship, which is easier said than done. Guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference. I hope to get another crack at the whip next year, but until then, make sure you drink one for me tonight. All right, cheers.
I should also point out, Dave, his sister's wedding over the weekend, and he chose Bitcoin thinking, I'm going to be cocky, I'm going to get there, no problem. He sent us a video message as well beforehand saying, good luck and start, guys. Well, it was, we all got here, that's the important thing, apart from Dave. But it was quite surprising, which we all get that we all got here. I mean, I know Misha got in quite late last night, and you guys all arrived yesterday and the day before. In third place, if you like, using chip and pin, Jordan arrived. He was narrowly beat Georgia by literally 2-3 minutes around the corner from the bell. It was very close. In second place, I came using the old contactless ring, and I really wish I placed a bet on this because Paddy Power gave odds of 25 to 1. Beating everybody and getting here fastest was Mr. Cooper with using only gold. So congratulations, Mr. Cooper, for winning the race. What was the hardest? What did you expect to find difficult, and what turned out to not be difficult?
Hello everyone. Hello. How are you all? You all okay? You're not very vocal. Come on. You all okay? Yeah. Good. So I think the thing I found the most difficult would be convincing people once I arrived that this challenge was real and that I have real gold that I would be willing to give for a room. So that was probably the most difficult. But actually, I thought the tubes in London would be more difficult. I thought because in London there's lots of security, and I actually ended up getting all the way to Heathrow Airport, not being checked by anyone. I sort of negotiated my way through the tube stations and managed to get to Heathrow Airport for nothing.
So how did you actually pay for the flight?
So I went to a sort of a rich area of London. It's called Hatton Gardens. There's like a jewellery quarter there. And I went into some of the gold merchants and I asked whether or not they would take my gold off me and pay for a ticket to Copenhagen. Because one of the rules was I'm not allowed to exchange my gold for cash. I can only exchange my gold for a ticket. So that made things even harder. I found this one store, Baird & Co. They're like a jewellery, a gold company. And I convinced the owner to buy me a ticket to Copenhagen on his business credit card. So he purchased me the ticket and emailed me the ticket, and then I gave him the gold and he reimbursed himself using that money. So that was how I got my ticket. I then had an hour to get to Heathrow Airport.
For those of you who don't know, who are following the blogs online, Ash got to Heathrow Airport with a ticket, but missed his flight.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't feel too good.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, so I missed my flight, but I spoke to the lovely lady. Her name was Sally from British Airways, and shout out to Sally wherever she is. She put me on the next flight for free, and that was just amazing because normally they charge. I don't know. I don't travel very often. I'm not in the financial game, so I should probably. I have no money. I should probably say that now. So yeah. So essentially. Yeah, she put me on the next flight, and it was really nice of her.
Cool. Kev, you got here without flying. I know there was a bit of a misunderstanding in the rules.
If you all recall, Ali said at the beginning, we're old friends, and I think he sabotaged me because of that. So he told me we're not allowed to fly. Everybody else flew. So I don't know what happened there. So I went on a little mini adventure around Europe, thinking I've got this in the bag, I'm off. I was within an hour. I was at King's Cross on the Eurostar heading to Paris. I was like, head start, I'm winning this. And then about 6 hours later, he's made it. How did he get there, mate? I just flew.
But you were using the old JCB card.
JCB card, yeah.
And
Hands down, would have won as well.
what happened when you were in Paris, walking around with your t-shirt?
Oh, so yeah, like this just shows how small the world is. I bumped into the COO, of JCB, yeah, bumped into the middle of Paris. I looked down, I was thinking, I heard this voice just go, Kevin! I was like, I'm not that famous, so I definitely haven't been spotted. haven't been spotted in Paris. And then once the chap said hello, I was like, I wonder how they've noticed me. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm walking around with a big logo. So it wasn't difficult.
How did you find you went to a lot of the JCB plazas as well?
Yeah, so something that JCB do, which is incredible, they have these plaza lounges for their customers. So I got to Paris, and they're not open on the weekends, so I had to make sure I got there before they closed. I met a lovely lady there called Alex, who basically then just sorted my whole trip out. She booked all my trains, booked my hotels, and this is something that they offer to their customers. You go to the lounges, use the Wi-Fi, chill. There was even a massage chair. That was fantastic.
What was happening? You're in the massage chair. You're living around in Paris. Stuart, whereabouts were you on this trip?
Well, it depends on which point we're talking, but either sleeping on a couch or sleeping on a marble floor. So.
You had obviously we were going to Stuart pennies, but it worked out it would have weighed 1.7 metric tons, and wouldn't the wheel
strong, but not that strong.
So, what did you find most difficult about this challenge?
Okay, has anyone ever dragged a cow around London? Well, dragging a suitcase full of coins of different denominations wasn't exactly easy. I think that was probably the difficult part right at the very beginning. And the most difficult part was actually kind of halfway through the journey when I got to Copenhagen. So I couldn't exchange any of my UK money for Denmark currency in coin form. No way I would do it. So I actually had to set up my own exchange booth at the airport. And it was really interesting having to kind of beg people to swap my pounds for their krona who were going back to London. So I actually spent 2 days inside the arrivals lounge at Copenhagen Airport because it was shelter, it had Wi-Fi, which we all need, it had water, and at the end of it, it had people who were going back to London who had krona that we weren't going to use. So, yeah.
Myself, Ash, and Stu all, I know, spent time sleeping at the airport. Obviously, I had contactless $30 limits. First report, of course, for me, I thought I'm going to get the Eurostar, because I'd heard through the WhatsApp group that somebody booked the last ticket from Gatwick to Copenhagen. And when I went there, and I was able to speak to a guy called Dave, the Eurostar, and he was very unhelpful and wouldn't take multiple transactions of my contactless ring. But I popped over to Gatwick, partly to see you guys, but just to see what was possible. Last flight had gone. But there was one from Heathrow earlier than you chaps, so they put me on a coach to be able to go to Heathrow. I had spent the night at Heathrow Airport, and there's some airports in the world that are nice, Copenhagen. Airports that aren't nice to sleep in, Heathrow, because those metal bars on the benches. So I was sleeping on the floor. Worst part for me, I'm asleep on the floor and I feel like sort of scratching my face. And a mouse had just run over. And which I know put a smile on Ted's face when I told him that.
You smell like cheese, that's why, Ali.
Yeah.
You smell like cheese.
Giorgio had mobile payments. I know he could obviously Uber all the way over here, but that would be pretty surprising for the Uber driver. What surprised you on your trip using just mobile payments?
The hard part for me was the account management, because I went on apple.com for the Apple Pay, and the featured list of apps was endless. So Expedia, Airbnb, Booking.com, and okay, that's easy. But then when I downloaded the app, none of them was working. Expedia was not working, Airbnb was not working, Uber was working. So I had to figure out a way to book my hotel and book my flight. Luckily, I found EasyJet. They take Apple Pay. So the moment I booked my flight, I was like, okay, the challenge is over because I'm willing to sleep on the ground. I don't care. I can walk at the airport. And then slowly, I found out Airbnb takes Android Pay. So I had to create a new US Gmail account, create my Android Pay account, and book my Airbnbs. Also, what surprised me is that here in Denmark, they don't know what mobile payment is, and every time I was paying with my phone, they were like, no, you're not allowed. I'm like, can I try? Yeah. And then it was going through, so they were like, oh, who are you? Where do you come from? Are you a magician? And yeah.
Cool. Jordan, you were the bookie's favourite, using only chip and pin. I was going to ask you what you found difficult.
Well, mine was a bit of a doddle, really. It's just kind of your standard way of getting around. I didn't really face any challenges except for the fact that you can't book stuff online because obviously I had to do chip and pin. Apart from that, it was fairly easy. I was with Stu for most of the journey because I went to Gatwick, booked my flight, and then he rocked up to pay for a £200 flight in pound coins. And I asked the lady before he got there, and she said that they'd accept that. So he rocked up and was able to do that, and he was actually behind me on the flight, so I was with him for most of the journey. I just kept abandoning him, kind of like along the way. So the first night, I left Gatwick, left Stu, and I just went and slept at my apartment because it's not far.
Do you reckon if you were doing this in the US,
What's that?
do you reckon if you do this in the US, you'd have a harder time?
If I get an apartment. Yeah, no, I think it, although chip and pin I imagine would be harder in the US because obviously a lot of it is swipe and sign. And when I have been to the US and trying to use chip and pin, sometimes it's a bit weird. Well, and as well, in the US with chip and pin, sometimes when you put your chip in, you don't even have to put your pin in, right?
Yeah.
So, would that count? I don't know.
Well, you mentioned swipe and sign there, and
Yeah, exactly.
Misha, with the help of our friends from AV, who I saw was using swipe and sign. You seem to have it straightforward until last night.
I think I backed myself a bit too hard on this one. I've never actually used swipe and sign for this challenge. And I thought, hey, how hard can it be? It's going to be the same as chip and pin. You just go up to the car reader, swipe the cards, sign it, everything's all good. No, that wasn't the case. There were two main things. Firstly, convincing people that you're not trying to scam them when you've got a fluorescent pink card that says Vito on it and it's missing the chip is very difficult. There was a lot of back and forth. Wait, are you sure you're not trying to scam me? What's this payments race? Why are you going to Copenhagen? And yeah, that was the first thing. On all of my transactions in England, I ran into a lot of skepticism. But actually, making the transaction was crazy hard. Getting my train tickets, I had to call Ali after about an hour of speaking to someone behind the desk at National Rail. Ali's just not working. He's saying no every time. And he says you can trick the machine if you stick the card in after you swipe it, and it says rejected, and then you stick the card in again, it says rejected, and you keep doing that, and eventually the machine just gives up and says, whatever. Swipe it. So that works in England. But when I got to Copenhagen, it was a bit of a different story. In Copenhagen, swipe and sign is not a thing that they like. They said to me, all of our machines are way too sophisticated for this. it's obviously that you're trying to trick us and that this is fraud. If you go anywhere, they're not going to take payments of certain size. So I couldn't do a single payment when I landed in Copenhagen. And I was in a pretty dire strait when I got to the hotel. And the guy said to me, get out. This is fraud.
You've actually, Ash stayed in, it's all been on the video, with a woman called Elizabeth. And I was messaging her to make sure Ash was not being kidnapped or anything. And she suggested that me should go to the Fields, the big shopping centre, and buy a tent and a sleeping bag. But what happened,
so I did try that. I thought, okay, that is a brilliant idea. That's going to sort me for the night. I go over there and I walk in and I say, do you take swipe and sign? I say, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just swipe and sign, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, sure. So I walk around, I get his tent, I get a blanket, I get some food because I haven't eaten in like 14 hours. I've got everything I need to see me for the night. And I get to the counter and we try it and they're like, oh, this is weird, it's not working. And keep trying it, the same trick as England, didn't work. And we safely concluded Copenhagen and Denmark does not like swipe and sign.
Well, I only got like a minute 30 left. I did have a pre-written conclusion for this before the whole thing started, but I've had to throw that out the window because I was not expecting the guy using gold to not only come first, but to then come here, and for those of you that haven't followed on social media, he's been having a whale of a time on boats and theme parks. But it really kind of shows that the society and the people factor often get completely overlooked when it comes to user adoption. And I know it's a technology conference, but two people have managed to make the trip in faster time and clearly had a bit of a whale of a time, using the most low-tech method possible, simply just gold and just coins. And well, my basic conclusion very simply is we need to look at the user adoption and make sure that is solidly in place. I can't really expand on that any further. But I think we've got time for literally one question from the audience. So do we have anyone at all who's got a question? Hands up? Anyone? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Actually, I understand that this is a competition and you need someone to win it, but what is the actual reason to use gold and coins and all this obsolete stuff? So why are you doing this experiment on these people?
They asked me the same thing. I honestly thought it was a bit of fun, really. That's what it came down to see if it was possible using old school methods like gold coins, like pennies, like back in the old swipe and sign days, like Bitcoin, the future of payments, to see if it is possible to actually make that journey. And well, for the majority of people, it turns out that it is. Just one sort of thing, just to sort of conclude here. I know this has been a very kind of brief snippet into what happened on the actual race itself. We've got a lot of video footage. Every single transaction everybody has made was recorded on camera. So every time swipe and sign was made, every time pennies were counted out, every time a chip and pin was entered, every time gold was exchanged, every time Apple Pay was used, every time the JCB card was used, every time the contactless payment was used. And we've got a nice video coming out hopefully towards the end of next week.
I will say that I couldn't actually film my gold exchange for my plane ticket because it happened in a basement. So you should definitely watch the video though, because it's quite interesting. There's lots of funny stuff like that.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, guys. We're going to go around for a bit. Thank you again for our sponsors. We've got our friends from JCB who enabled Kev, our friends from Spire who enabled Georgia, the guys from Gold Money who enabled Ash, the guys from Banking Circle and Saxo, Saxo Payments who enabled Jordo, the guys from ATMIA who enabled the coins to Stu, and our friends from AP who enabled South and of course, PAS who enabled the Thank you guys.